So I've been a humanist for probably about 5 years now, and by that I mean I've actively associated with the term humanist for about 5 years. If we count the years where I held these values, I just didn't know about the term, then I'm probably heading towards my 10th year of being one. It seems a little weird to say that you were part of some philosophy before you even knew what to call it, but part of me thinks that's a demonstration of just how organically humanism comes to a regular person. Hi there, my name is Peter Effie, I am a grassroots humanist. That's to say I don't hold to or represent any larger humanist organisation or body. This series is by me, a living, breathing, thinking humanist, in hopes that it will shed a little more light on how a humanist may think and or react to certain subjects, with many of said subjects being rather important to us as a species. But do note, I'm just one person discussing their humanism in a casual sort of setting. My thoughts are not universal to all humanists, and they likely won't help you in philosophy class. But what I hope is that they will help you in your day-to-day philosophy and getting you to think about your own perspective on life and some of these topics, as well as consider why you believe whatever it is you believe. So perhaps the best place to begin is with a core definition of humanism, or at least as close to one as we can get with such a fluid philosophy. There are three main qualities that can be said to be near universal among all forms of humanism. Point 1. Human life has innate value. Point 2. Evidence-based reasoning is the best foundation for belief. Point 3. Education is the emancipator of every human being. Now, from these three, you could argue that there are some general trends, such as an innate human value entails a list of innate human rights. The details of what those rights consist of is up for debate, but there should be a list, and you would be right, but humanism mainly focuses on the foundational aspects. In this, humanism shows itself to be a philosophy lacking any real dogma like other forms of ideological systems, such as other secular philosophies or religious beliefs. Yeah, we have the three principles just mentioned, but they're never really forced down on people who call themselves a humanist, instead being qualities which typically attract people to humanism itself. They're shared values of humanism rather than rules prescribed to so-called humanists. It's also why I, as a humanist, happily use the titles of LGBT+ activist, feminist, secularist, and ethnic rights activist to describe my more specific ideas on these certain topics and political discourses. Each title adds something to my humanistic title, in giving the person I'm talking to further clarification surrounding how my growing identity intersects like a puzzle to make me me. Meanwhile, on the topic of theism versus atheism, whilst humanism offers us no declaration that a person must be one or the other on the virtue of being either theistic or atheistic, I would argue the fact that theism lacks any evidence-based reasoning in support of its central claim that this would exclude said quality from being a humanistic one on the basis of point 2. That's not to say that this is definitive. It could change, and I'm always open to that, as part of my reasoning is understanding human fallibility. But until I have evidence for God presented to me, I could never consider a belief in said God as any sound part of a humanistic philosophy. On the other hand, I certainly argue that being an LGBT+ activist, feminist, secularist, and ethnic rights activist are a vital part to being a humanist, in that these things are at the forefront when it comes to defending the first point of humanism. These are important to me as a humanist, though I know for a fact that there are humanists out there who disagree with me on certain titles listed, and that's the great thing about humanism. It cares less about what you think and more about how you got there. And ultimately, I believe education will out the truth, as seen in point 3. It may take time, it may be painful and seemingly never-ending, but education raises the life quality of all by lifting us above the fog of ignorance. Education, by the way, refers to more than simply going to school. You learn until the day you die, and that includes the personalised philosophy we all partake in day-to-day life. For example, we don't map out every moral decision at the start of our day, nor do we need formal lessons in ethics to make a decision. We just sort of figure things out to the best of our ability as we go along, and we learn through doing just that. That's why I do what I do, even though I seem to make very little progress at times, because I care. So anyway, that's my core definition of humanism, as well as some of the ways I have personally expanded on it from there. I hope you have enjoyed, as it's certainly been a pleasure for me.